欢迎大家来到华视国际传媒亚太企业家 Club VIP 沙龙。今天呢，我们是在财富500强的纽约人寿 Building 里面来现场了解和见证一下纽约人寿的财富管理策略。同时，我们也欢庆中秋佳节，有这个机会，欢迎大家，非常高兴欢迎大家来。然后呢，我们现在呢，是要请我们的纽约人寿的专家做一个专门的介绍啊。Okay, so hi, I'm Donna from GCTV. So you are Todd Welton from New York Life. You are the specialist who can introduce New York Life in everything, right? And the building.
Yes, I can.
So yeah, could you please tell us more?
Again, the name is Todd Welton. I'm the building's Fire and Life Safety Director. I've been in this building for 17 years now. My job is to make sure the building stays safe. So by that job description means that I have to know this building very well, and I get around and I move around in every nook and cranny there is, including the roof, where we just were with several of your folks here. Checking out the views. I'm sure you all loved it. But so yeah, prior to me coming here, I was a New York City firefighter for 26 years. Most of that time served in the Bronx, New York, until I was promoted, and then I was citywide. So I went from fighting fires to keeping the building safe. I'm not getting hurt anymore, so that's kind of nice. But and as a young man and boy, I grew up in Flushing, Queens. I know some of you are from that area. I live in Westchester, New York now. I've been there since 2007. But again, here at New York Life, 17 years as the Fire and Life Safety Director. So a few things about our building and our company. Let's start with the company first, because the company's older than this building. We started in 1845. We were the Nautilus Company. For a very short time, the first president was James DePeyster Ogden, and we were selling maritime-related insurance. As people were coming to this new America, people needed to insure the shipments that were coming in, the supplies, and we grew rapidly from there. People were staying here. The amount of people was growing exponentially large, rapidly. So in 4 years' time, we became the New York Life Insurance Company in 1849. So if you do the math, back from 1845 to today, we're 179 years old, I believe, unless my math is off, which is possible. Again, we were continuing to grow. Even as we became New York Life Insurance, we grew continuously, and we started in a small building on a 5-story walk-up, as a matter of fact, on Wall Street. And that building got way too small for us. We had to move up to Broadway, so we built a building on 346 Broadway, up near City Hall. And we were growing so rapidly with the president at the time, Mr. Morris Franklin, that we ended up having to leave that building. And in early 1920s, around 1922 or 23, we bought this property from the original Madison Square Garden, which stood on this piece of land. And that's why the park across the street is Madison Square Park. So it all kinds of makes sense now, right? And we started construction on this building in 1926. So you think about that's just about 100 years ago, right? We're in 2024 now. So 98 years, just shy of 100 years. And it took only 2 years to construct this building. 100 years ago, with the technology that they had available and the equipment that they had to use, technology was there was none, basically. But the equipment was not quite the same that we have now, much more inferior, probably would be the best description. So 2 years to build this monstrosity is quite an amazing feat when you think about it. But then again, back in 1926, the organization known as OSHA, who some of you may have heard of, Occupational Safety Hazard Association, they didn't exist. So they are in business now to regulate how people function when they're building structures. And they're very strict, and you have to follow a lot of rules. There wasn't as many rules in 1926, so they were able to slap this building up in 2 years. The architect, his name was Cass Gilbert. And if any of you are American history historians, that name might mean something to you. He was quite a famous architect, probably the premier architect of the time in 1926. And his task was to build a cathedral to insurance. That's why when you see this building from the outside and the inside, arches are the abundant theme. There's arches all the way up and down our entire lobby main corridor and on the outside of the building. And some of you may have realized when you walked in this building takes up the entire city block. It goes from Madison Avenue to Park Avenue, 26th Street to 27th Street. It's one of the largest footprints in New York City. It's far from being...
Quite large.
It's amazingly large. It's a monstrosity, you would call it. And especially for the times that it was built. It wasn't the tallest at the time, because the Woolworth building, built by the same architect, was already established, I think, in the 19-teens, maybe 1918 or something around that time. And that one's 800 and something feet. Our building is 620 feet. And then 2 years later, after this was completed, the Empire State Building came along, and it just doubled our size. It's 1,250 feet. They wanted to be the top dog, and they easily became that by building that monstrosity. But yeah, getting back to Cass Gilbert, he was instructed by the president at the time, Darwin Kingsley, who was also instrumental in our growth, to build a cathedral. So that's why you see when you walk, if any of you walked in through the main entrance, 51 Madison, we have 6 entrances, by the way, 45 elevators. We go 5 basements deep. It's a massive foundation. 45 elevators, that's quite a few. And I've been in every one of them many times. But yeah, so the building is gigantic, as you can see. And the views from the roof are spectacular. We noticed that earlier in the day. This floor was recently remodeled, probably a good 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was finished during COVID. And it has all these meeting rooms. And you have a nice view from your windows as well. What else can I talk about? Did you have anything more specific you would like to know about the building? Or is there anything that you can jog my memory, perhaps? I'm not working off notes, so I'm going by memory here. And I covered most of our history. Been in business for 179 years, as I said. New York Life is a wonderful company. I recommend it to all my friends and family. I put my youngest daughter through college. She's now a registered nurse and works in an emergency room. And she has no bills to pay from college because New York Life is so good to me. So that's a wonderful thing. That's why I'm totally loyal to the company. It's a great company. It's been here 179 years, and we will easily be here another 179 years.
Yeah, 179 years.
Yes.
So do you think what is the advantage and what is the main point people would like to come to New York Life?
Well, just in the fact that we're here 179 years is probably the best answer. We've been there for every conceivable situation that has befallen this country, and we've stood by our clients and paid out on the policies when need be. We have quite a few famous clientele. Again, if you're an American history buff, you'll know the name General George Armstrong Custer, who was famous for dying. He was kind of a sad way to remember him, but he fought at the Battle of Little Bighorn against the Sioux Indians and many other tribes when we were, sort of moving west in this country. And his entire regiment was wiped out by the Sioux Indians and many other tribes in the 1870s. And there's quite a list of, Google will tell you, there's quite a list of famous people. So if you have famous people as your clients, I think you're doing something right. I think that says something. So of course, we paid out on General Custer's policy, and I think 5 or 6 of his higher-ranking officers were also paid out. They were clients as well. Not one man. One man did live from that battle, famous battle, the Battle of Little Bighorn. The guy that they sent for help when they realized they were outnumbered about 100 to 1.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Amazing, right. Yeah. And so, yeah, New York, that's a testimony to the San Francisco earthquake of the 1930s, I believe, was another example of how New York Life was there for its clients. We even helped rebuild the city. As you know, California has had many earthquakes over the years, and that was one of the bigger ones, and New York Life came to the rescue, of course, and we're there for help.
Okay, so Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Introduce New York Life to us. Thank you.
My pleasure.
接下来呢，我们是有请到纽约人寿资深的高级财富投资的专家，给我们介绍一下纽约人寿的财富投资方面的 strategy 政策和策略。Hi, Sean Saunders. Okay, so you are the New York Life Business Overview and Head of Life Insurance Solutions, B&D and Enforce Strategy Specialist, right? So could you please introduce yourself and tell us more, give us a deep insight of New York Life?
Sure. I'm Sean Saunders, and like you said, I'm the head of our Life Insurance Solutions R&D and Enforce Strategy team. And I've been at New York Life for 14 years. And my role for most of the time has been spent as an actuary, so pricing our products, whole life, universal life, term, all the products we offer within the retail life space. More recently, my role is spent around how do we offer new features and benefits to the existing products that we offer. But yeah, I was hoping to offer a business overview strategy for you all so you can sort of better understand the products that we offer and what makes us unique within the marketplace. What has made us very successful over the years is a few key things. One is a focus on diversification. So we don't focus on just one product, even though participating whole life is our bread and butter. We've been able to diversify across the financial services industry, and that's really been part of our competitive advantages. So we're the largest mutual life insurance company in the United States. We have a long history of financial success, and we're able to do that in a few key ways. So next slide, please. So the slide that you see here is really a focus on what makes us unique within the marketplace. So what's core to New York Life and has always been for over 170 plus years is a focus on four key things. One is financial strength. So we take great care in making sure that all our investments and products are safe and priced appropriately. The other is a focus on mutuality. So that aligns our interests with the policyholders. What we mean by that is, as we do well, the policyholder does well. Life insurance is a long-term liability that is really a promise on a piece of paper. So you have to have that financial strength to make sure that if a client bought something today, that we can pay and deliver that promise in 50, 60 years. And the fourth key piece of that is the career agency force. So those are the agents that are out there selling those promises and helping our clients make sure that those promises come true. What makes New York Life unique from, say, Mass Mutual, Guardian, Northwestern Mutual, is about 20 years ago, we did something very different. Rather than just keeping all our money within our general account portfolio, we invested in other insurance businesses in a much greater degree than other businesses did. We invested in annuity products, long-term care, individual disability, and others. And those we call our strategic insurance businesses. And we do that on behalf of our participating policyholders. So as those businesses earn profits, those profits, a portion of those profits, are going to the dividends of our whole life policyholders. So you can think of those businesses as part of our broader portfolio of investments that we've made over time. Next slide. So here's what I mean. So this, you can see here, is the makeup of our general account assets. They're all very safe and secure investments. And if you looked at other insurance companies, you'd probably see a very similar mix of investments. And they're AAA rated bonds, which are really aligned with the kinds of products that we sell. It helps us meet our financial obligations. But what you wouldn't see with other lines of businesses is the breadth and depth of additional insurance products and financial solutions that we offer. So again, we offer annuities, long-term care. As those businesses succeed, it gives dividends, and it diversifies the sources of profits that we earn, right? So if you have a global pandemic, yes, maybe our life insurance earnings aren't as high, but our annuity earnings are better, right? So they offset each other. And so we have a stronger overall business portfolio because of it. So that's really what differentiates us. This is what makes us special. We have a long history, but because of recent changes in our strategy and focus, it's been able us to only strengthen what we're good at by investing in these other businesses.
People want to know more about your investment strategy and how we can get guarantee of our profit, right?
Well, we can't guarantee our profit, but what we can do is sort of guarantee those promises, right, that we offer through our insurance products. And again, it comes down to what I said earlier. So making sure that we're being smart with how we price our products. We don't do anything too aggressive. Making sure that we're safe with our investments, that support those future promises. And as an insurance company, we can do one of three things when we make a profit. We can give it back to the policyholders, and we pay over $2 billion of dividends every year to our policyholders, our participating policyholders. We can save that profit for a rainy day in case there's a global pandemic or an emergency, and we have over $31 billion of surplus assets. Or we can invest it in new businesses. So that has sort of been the benefit of us focusing on financial strength over the years.
Yeah, that's your differential business model, right?
That's right.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the time, and I really appreciate you all coming to visit us. Thank you.